Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take another quick look at Star Trek Attack Wing. Today we'll be looking at the I.R.W. Praetus. It's not a name that I recognize. The ship I sort of do. There was an episode of Star Trek Enterprise called Minefield, I think, where Lieutenant Reed was stuck outside the Enterprise hull. A mine had struck the ship but didn't detonate, and Reed was sent out to defuse it. Well, his leg got impaled by one of the spikes from the mine, and Archer had to try and cut him out. But the two Romulan warbirds that showed up during this whole thing does look like this. So, and the cards sort of reflect that, reflect the age of the model here. So I'll be interested to see how this actually plays out on the battlefield. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what this particular expansion has to offer. Okay, now here's a quick look at the components minus all of the little tokens that come with it. Again, I usually leave the tokens out of these videos just because I want to save on time, A, and B, I don't feel like repeating myself and explaining what a battle stations token does for the 7,000th time. So, yeah, I've left those out, but this is the rest of the components here. Starting with the model, as you can see, it's also fairly small. It's about the same size as the Galgathong, which is a bird of prey that I recently touched on in a previous video. And I keep using the term warbird, and when it should be bird of prey. When I think bird of prey, I think Klingon bird of prey with the two wings. But yeah, this is technically a bird of prey, not a warbird. But anyway, as you can see, the model is small, but pretty flashy, and I like the color. But as far as the rest of this goes, you've got your base, or at least the cover to the base. Again, it's two-sided. One is just the Romulan bird of prey, and the other one's the named ship. Just a forward firing arc here. As far as the maneuver dial is concerned, let's see if okay. So it can make a slight left or a slight right at 1, it's a green maneuver. It can also go straight at 1, that's a green maneuver. At 2, it can make a hard left or a hard right at 2, it's white. Slight left or slight right at at 2 is a white maneuver. And it can go straight at 2, which is a green maneuver. It can make a hard left at 3 or a hard right at 3, or a slight left or slight right at 3. Those are all white maneuvers. Same thing with 3 straight. And it can also make a 3 come about, which is pretty interesting. And it can also go 4 straight ahead. It's worth noting that the come about action, like always, is a red or stressful maneuver. Now, this expansion did come with a scenario, Emergency Repairs, and it's based off of the episode Minefield, which I just referenced earlier. Basically, one player will take control of just an enemy ship, enemy being any other ship besides Romulan. And they can only have one ship, and what they'll be trying to do is remove these mission tokens from their ship using actions. The Romulan player will have more points, and I believe 2 ships or something like that. I believe the cap is 100 points. Don't quote me on all this, but I'm just recalling this from memory. But the basic idea is the Federation player is going to be trying to remove these tokens from their ship and then escape, while the Romulan player is going to be trying to blow them up. And here's a look at the reference card. Again, these maneuvers match the dial, so I'm not going to bother reading these off. As far as the ships go, the I.R.W. Praetus, Romulan Bird of Prey class, it has 2 attack, 2 defense, 3 hull, 0 shield. So again, this is reflective of a time before Captain Kirk, when, you know, those ships at that time had shields. The NX-01, or Captain Archer's ship of the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, didn't have shields. They had hull plating and they polarized it. So this is sort of reflective of that. So obviously this wouldn't fare well against a ship of the future, like the NCC-1701D, for example, in the starter set. But anyway, you may use the cloak action even if you have no active shields. Whenever you choose the cloak action, roll 1 attack die. On a battle station result, your hull sustains 1 damage. Wow, okay, so that's a pretty... wow, okay, well, I'm not going to comment too much on that, but definitely not encouraged to cloak from the looks of things here. Luckily, there's not too many battle station results on a typical attack die. As far as actions, you got evasive maneuvers, target lock, cloak, and sensor echo. A few upgrades down here. Luckily, the cost of the ship is only 14, so you can sort of add a bunch of those to your fleet if you're willing to invest in this expansion, or a number of them. Here's your standard Romulan starship, the same thing. The stats appear to be the same though, so that's something I'm not used to seeing. Usually there's a difference somewhere with regard to the shield. But no special ability. The actions, oh, pulling too many cards out. The actions are a bit different though. It can't cloak, and it can't do the sensor echo. So that's, yeah, but it's the same point cost and has less upgrades. So I guess there's pros and cons for choosing either or. Captains. This bothers me. Val-Dor. He is not a captain. He is an admiral. I don't remember the 3 episodes, but I believe there was a 3-parter in Star Trek Enterprise. They all had different names. He was trying to... he captured this Andorian with super psionic abilities that had the ability to control ships from a long distance, and he was using this Andorian to control these 2... Romulan droid ships that could actually that was fitted with holo emitters and could change not shape but could project the wrong class of ship and fool people into thinking that they were being attacked by someone they were not. But anyway, getting back to this, I could drone on about Star Trek for hours if you let me. But Val-Dor was an admiral, not a captain. But to be fair, at that time, even in the original series, Romulans were not a race that was really focused on, and you didn't know too much about. So I guess they had to pick somebody. But anyway, Val-Dor's special ability: when attacking, if your ship is not in the target ship's forward firing arc, add +1 attack die. He has a captain skill of 5 and a cost of 3. And then your basic Romulan captain, no ability, captain skill of 1, 0 points. Upgrade cards, you've got nuclear missiles, attack, strength of 3, attack die, 1 to 2 range, attack, target lock. Spend your target lock and disable this card to perform this attack. You may reroll one of your blank results 1 time. That has a cost of 2 to add to your fleet. You've got cloaked mines. During the planning phase, you may discard this card to place a minefield token within range 2 of your ship in any direction, but not within range 2 of an enemy ship. If an enemy ship passes within range 1 of the token, roll 3 attack dice, -1 if the target ship immediately performs a scan action. Any hit or critical hit damages the ship or the target ship as normal. The affected ship does not roll any defense die. What's weird is that there was no minefield token that came with this expansion, though the starter set did include some, so I guess I'm okay there. That has a upgrade cost of 3. Polarized hull plating. Let's refocus because I think the camera's out of... There we go. Polarized hull plating. When your ship is hit, convert 1 critical into 1 hit result. That has a cost of 2. And that's all she wrote. Pretty light as far as cards are concerned. And there you have it. Short and sweet. Yeah, I was just as surprised to learn probably as you. There's not that many captains. There's only 2 captains as opposed to 3. And it's pretty light in terms of upgrade cards. So whether or not you should get this expansion, I mean, if you're a collector, I guess it's going to be obvious that you're going to get it anyway. But this is not something that I would have added to my wish list had I known it was so light in terms of functionality, and it just seems to play a very basic and specific role. It doesn't have a lot of room for maneuverability, and it's fairly weak to boot. So you could only really use this when you're fighting, say, the original series ships, which I didn't see any other NX-01 era ships in out on the market. So I guess you'd have to use this with the original series ships. And hope that it could stand up to, say, the Enterprise or, say, the Reliant or the Excelsior. But my guess would be it wouldn't. But anyway, you can check out my review of the base game at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, or you can click on the links in the below description. That'll take you there as well. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.